What's up, guys? It is Danny
and Charlotte
from the Lassercast, and it is almost Happy New Year time.
Happy New Year.
And we have a lot of stuff going on our channel right now. Pete and I are finishing our Unholy Holidays. We just did a reaction yesterday to my personal pick for scariest movie that I've ever seen, The Omen from 1976, which is part 3 of our Unholy Trinity. We have videos for Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist up on our channel already. But very soon, coming in about 2.5 weeks into 2022, we have a new Scream...
Stab movie.
Oh, Stab. No, Scream. We have a new Scream movie, Scream 5, or just Scream, as is the new tradition where they make a sequel with the exact same title as the original, a la Halloween 2018. So Charlotte has seen the original Scream.
Yes.
She saw it probably a couple years ago at this point.
You like to do that thing where you sometimes just show me the original and then take a break of showing me the rest and then go back to showing you the rest?
Yes. Now, so with that in mind, what I thought would be fun is if Charlotte and I watched the other Scream sequels en route to the new Scream film, which comes out on January 14th. I think we're going to go see it on the Thursday night, the 13th. And then Pete and I will be doing a live reaction to the new Scream movie. Charlotte will be a part of that if you want, if you could stay up that late.
How long is it?
I mean, the movie's only, I think the new movie's only about an hour and 50 minutes, so it'll probably be like 10 o'clock at night. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
You'll be fine. We'll get you some coffee.
Okay.
But, so yeah, we've seen the original Scream.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the original Scream?
Well, I thought the original Scream was okay. I mean, it's like a normal slasher movie. It's a girl who ends up to be the last one standing. Final girls, that's what they're called. And a killer chasing them the entire movie and pretty much targeting them.
But you know how Scream kind of played off of all of the tropes of the genre, right?
It makes people know horror movies. Like,
Yes.
After Halloween, after Friday the 13th, after Nightmare on Elm Street, that's what's up.
Yeah. One of the things, and of course, obviously Charlotte just turned 11, but for my generation, Scream was it. It reinvigorated, it reinvented the horror genre. Wes Craven actually has done this twice. 2 years before Scream, he did Wes Craven's New Nightmare, another movie you've seen. And he basically created this new genre of meta horror where he brings up, like you said, like he tells the audience, here's a bunch of horror movies that you all know. Here's a bunch of horror movie tropes that you all know. Now we're going to subvert them and we're going to do something a little bit different.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Jaws. And the original Halloween. But Scream 2, what I love about Scream 2 is, as a horror movie fan, and like, you said this, you just said this, that I've shown you a bunch of horror movies, but instead of us just picking a horror movie and going through all of them, we've kind of bounced around.
You kind of do this thing where it's like you show me the original. For example, like Friday the 13th, you show me the original, and then like a few months pass, like 5, 6, maybe even a year, and then I watch the rest of the movies.
So yeah, so like Charlotte has seen the original Halloween, and then she saw Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills.
Also Halloween 2.
Oh, and yes, and you did see the original Halloween 2, but she hasn't seen anything from Halloween 3 up until the Rob Zombie movies.
I don't think those matter.
In the Nightmare on Elm Street series, she's watched the Nancy trilogy, which is parts 1, 3, and 7.
They should have just done 1, 2, and 3. Like what?
But we haven't made up the rest of those. The only franchise that she's made it fully through is the Friday the 13th franchise. I know, I won't even bring it up. But we are also very close to finishing the Chucky franchise.
We are. We have
only have
movies.
2 more movies in that, Curse and Cult of Chucky, and then we're going to watch the series together.
You already watched it, didn't you?
Yes, I loved it. It's one of my favorite things of 2021. So 5 minutes in, let's get to Scream 2. This movie came out just a year after the original.
Really?
Yeah, 1997.
Oh, you're right.
And what I love about this movie is it parodies and it brings up those tropes of sequels to the point where they're already making a movie, Stab, about the events in Scream.
It's literally the exact same thing, just with different people.
And of course, because it's Wes Craven, because it's a script by Kevin Williamson, they have all of these meta aspects. They make so many like Friends jokes. There's two specifically that stood out. They make a joke. Randy makes a joke about how David Schwimmer is playing David Arquette's character Dewey in Stab, and then Courtney Cox makes a joke about how the nude photos of her online are actually her head on Jennifer Aniston's body. And it's kind of like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Do you know we have a lot of connections to Friends? It almost is a little too much in that regard. But as a horror fan who loves horror sequels, who grew up in the 80s and early 90s, I love how they talk about, what this movie has to be as a sequel. So what did you think of Scream 2 compared to the first one?
Oh, sorry. I thought 2 was better.
Really?
I thought 2 was better because I know people are gonna hate me for this. I'm like,
no, don't ever get concerned about what people think. Remember, you're 11 years old, so this movie, Scream.
Okay.
I saw Scream for the first time when I was 14. You're seeing Scream and Scream 2 when you were 9 and 11 years old. It's very different.
So, I just thought Scream 2 was better because it brought back all the people and it has characters I know.
You mean actors you know,
actors
right?
I know.
Specifically, who?
Buffy Summers.
So, my wife, Athena, who you know from this channel, her and Charlotte are in the process of a long
Sarah
binge.
Michelle Gellar.
Of a long
I just
binge
figured it out.
of Buffy and Angel simultaneously. And
Ow.
it's now Charlotte's favorite show.
Yeah.
She watches probably 2 to 3 episodes of Buffy a day since we're on our winter vacation. And to see Sarah Michelle Gellar in this movie in the year that Buffy started is...
you saw me. I was like...
I know. Because Charlotte likes to go into horror movies and she likes to ask, are there actors I know? Are there any actors from other movies aside from obviously the returning cast members in this movie?
Yeah.
So aside from your Nev Campbell's, Courtney Cox, David Arquette's, Jamie Kennedy's, who else was in this? And I was like, oh well, trust me, there's one specific one that you're gonna freak out
There's another
about.
that was nice. That was
Yeah.
surprising.
Who was that?
Speaking of The Omen, the cameraman.
Yeah,
was,
David Warner, the actor who plays Jennings, the cameraman in The Omen. He is the drama teacher. Nev Campbell, Sidney Prescott's drama teacher in Scream 2. Nice little cameo there. Also, really funny cameo. They show a clip of Stab with Tori Spelling and Luke Wilson as Billy Loomis, which was hilarious. Yeah, Buffy, unfortunately for Sarah Michelle Gellar, she does not last very long. She's one of the first kills.
Me and you were just like, just take out the steak.
Yeah, if she would have just
steak.
I wonder if she would have stabbed Ghostface, would he have just burst into sand the way? No. But it's funny, if they would have known what a cultural phenomenon Buffy was going to be for my generation and for kids a little bit younger than me, they probably would have kept her alive and tried to have her come back in sequels. Scream 3 came out a few years after this in 2000. They would have loved to have had Sarah Michelle Gellar in that movie because she probably would have been a main character.
And guess who comes back? We got Sydney, we got
Dewey,
we got Gail, and we got Randy.
Yeah.
We got Randy.
Yeah. I know. So I did want to say it made me feel happy that generations apart, Randy's death still hurts just as hard Charlotte, when he gets pulled into the van and he gets stabbed, Charlotte had this look on her face like, wait, what? Randy? No. And you have to understand, Randy growing up, I was Randy. I was a nerdy kid. I was a geeky kid who loved movies, loved horror movies, was hopelessly in love with girls that wouldn't pay attention to me.
I'm not.
And for so many kids my age, Randy was their avatar. And when he died in this movie, I remember sitting in the movie theater and I almost like rage quit the movie. I was like, that's it, I'm leaving. I don't want to watch the end of this movie anymore.
I almost did that. I was just like, no.
It was so infuriating having to relive Randy's death. And I'll tell you something, watching this movie over, I think what they should have done,
you literally said right here, Randy's death was a mistake.
yeah, I would have flipped, reversed Randy and Dewey. Dewey needed to die in this movie.
Yeah.
I think that they redeemed his character. I think that they gave him and Gail their little, they had their romance angle, which led to Ghostface chasing the two of them. And him dying in front of Gail would have been a much more meaningful moment. And Randy being that character that fans loved, to have him, have it maybe instead of showing his dead body, he is the one who miraculously is saved at the end and put into the ambulance to be in part 3 and the rest of the franchise, because he was just a great character. And I'll tell you who else is a great character who I think is done kind of dirty in this movie. What did you think of who the killers were? Of course, we're going to get into spoilers for a movie that came out in 1997.
No.
So, what, you didn't like the killers in this movie?
Absolutely not. Billy's mother. Psh.
So you said you liked this movie.
Pamela Voorhees.
You said you liked this movie better than the first one. I think the ending of this movie.
The ending of this movie is not as fun.
No, the ending of the first movie
was way better.
100% agree with you. Billy and Stu were so much better as villains than Billy's mom, which I get it. I think that's a interesting idea. Laurie Metcalf, okay, she does kind of come out of nowhere.
The boy kind of surprised me. I was like, oh.
I like Mickey's motivation.
Oh, Mickey, okay.
And first of all, I love Timothy Olyphant. Timothy Olyphant is one of my favorite actors. Santa Clarita Diet was one of my all-time favorite shows that I still hope Netflix brings back or another streaming service brings back because it was so good. But, and I'll tell you what, if Mickey was not the killer, and if you're going to kill off Randy, Mickey could have been a character that came back in the next sequel.
Yeah.
I thought they gave way too much to Cotton Weary in this movie. Yeah. I thought that he went from being, maybe it was Liev Schreiber was starting.
You're too suspicious.
Yeah.
Not to be the killer.
Overall, I think Scream 2 does a very good job. I think it's a very good sequel. I thought he was Dewey at first. Yeah, so she did. She thought Dewey was the killer.
I thought Dewey, but I thought it was you.
Yeah. I think that they do a good job with the mystery. I think they do a good job doing those meta aspects and playing on the sequel of horror movie tropes. I do think the movie falls flat at the end. I think that the ending reveals of the killers are...
Beginning to middle. Ending.
Yeah. To me, it is definitely a good horror movie sequel.
Yes.
We have a cat.
How do you think about this movie?
I think Kobashi doesn't care much about Scream.
She does. She thinks it's good.
I think Scream 2 certainly holds its weight as a very good horror sequel. We are going to cover Scream 3 pretty soon. Scream 3,
I've heard Scream 3 was not great.
So Scream 3 is not great. It does have a few moments. It does have a great soundtrack. One of my favorite horror movie soundtracks. One thing I'll say in conjunction from Scream 2 to Scream 3, I actually tweeted this. I've never seen a character go through a worse hair transformation than Courtney Cox. In this movie, Courtney Cox is stunning. I loved her hair. I loved
Wait,
the
who?
streaks. Gail.
Oh,
Gail
Gail.
Weathers.
I don't
In-
know actor names.
In part 3, her hair it's like it's an internet meme. It is abysmal, and it's laughable how
Oh, I want to see.
they go from this beautiful hairstyle to that one. But aside from that, Scream 2, this movie's available on VOD. We watched it for free on Pluto TV, and what I will say is, thank you, Pluto TV. Very nice to get a movie for free.
Yes.
But oh my God,
Don't eat your ass.
I would rather rent this movie for $3 to $4 on any other streaming service, because quite frankly, there are so many damn commercials. It was driving us crazy. I'm waiting for the new Scream to come out, and I'm hoping that we get like a brand new box set, because I think I only have the original Scream on the original DVD.
On the original DVD.
Yeah.
On
So I could use a new Scream box set, because Wes Craven did the first 4 movies, and even the worst one, Scream 3, which we'll get to next time, isn't the worst movie ever made. So we'll definitely be checking that out soon. So this has been Danny.
And Charlotte.
For the Lassercast. Stay tuned. We have The Omen coming up on the channel very soon, and then we're going to have a live reaction, a live review of the new Scream coming in about 2 weeks.
Try to stay awake for that.
Yes, you will. See you later. Happy New Year.